Now, I've tested quite a few robot mowers over the last year, including the ECOVACS GOAT A3000 LiDAR PRO, and overall, I've had a really positive experience with it. But one thing I realized is not everyone has a massive yard. In fact, a lot of homeowners have smaller suburban properties where a mower designed for huge lawns might actually be overkill. That's where the ECOVACS GOAT O1000 LiDAR PRO comes in. Now think of this as more a compact member of the GOAT family. Now the A3000 is designed for larger properties up to roughly 3/4 of an acre, while the O1000 is designed for lawns up to around a 1/4 acre. So if you have a smaller yard but still want all the smart navigation, obstacle avoidance, app controls, and automation benefits, this might actually be a better fit. Today we're looking at 7 major features that make the GOAT O1000 LiDAR Pro stand out. We're talking about LiDAR navigation, obstacle avoidance, automatic edge trimming, smart controls, slope climbing, safety features, and a final feature that honestly surprised me the most during this testing. And trust me, feature number 7 completely changed how I think about robotic lawn mowers, so stay until the end because that's the feature that blew my mind. Now inside the box, you'll find the mower itself, the charging station, power accessories, and everything needed to get started. My first impression here was that this feels like a very refined product. I like the design because it's super clean, premium, and surprisingly compact. Compared to the larger A3000, the O1000 immediately feels purpose-built for homeowners with smaller properties. Now, it doesn't feel oversized or intimidating. Instead, it feels like a mower that's designed specifically for the majority of suburban homes. And honestly, that's why I'm super excited to test it. Most homeowners don't have giant estates. Most people just want something that can keep their lawn looking great without spending every weekend pushing a lawn mower. Now, before we talk about mowing performance, let's talk about setup. Because if you've ever researched robotic lawnmowers before, you already know this can be one of the biggest pain points. Now, I've tested products in the past where the setup took longer than filming the review itself. Traditionally, robot lawnmowers require boundary wires. You have to measure, you have to plan, you have to dig, and a whole lot of patience. Thankfully, that's not what happens here. The charging station installation was straightforward. The app guided me through the process as well, which makes it super easy, and within a short amount of time, I was ready to start mapping. Now, I did run into a small challenge here because the first map I created wasn't perfect. There was a couple of areas where I wanted cleaner boundaries and more precise mowing zones. Now, the good news is the app made those changes easy. After spending about 15 minutes learning how the mapping tools worked, everything became much more intuitive. And once the mapping was completed, that's when the O1000 really started to show what it could do. Now, one thing I noticed right away compared to the A3000 is that the O1000 feels very much designed around simplicity. The A3000 is built to manage larger areas and more demanding properties, while the O1000 focuses on delivering a similar smart mowing experience for smaller lawns without unnecessary complexity. Now, for a homeowner with a typical suburban yard, that's actually a huge advantage. Now, the first major feature here is the LiDAR navigation system. And honestly, this is the feature that impressed me immediately. When I first started watching the mower work, it became obvious that this wasn't driving around randomly. It wasn't even wandering aimlessly across the lawn, hoping to eventually cover everything. Instead, it mowed with purpose. The mower continuously scans the environment and creates organized mowing paths. I spent quite a bit of time following it around the yard just to see how it behaved. Now, what stood out to me was how methodical everything looked. The movement felt intentional, the coverage looked efficient, and the finished lawn looked consistent. One thing I did notice was that the mower occasionally slowed down when approaching tighter sections of the yard, but that's okay. At first, I thought maybe something was wrong, but after observing it a few times, I realized it was gathering additional environmental data before proceeding. Now, once I understood what it was doing, it actually gave me more confidence in the navigation system. Compared to older robotic mowers that I've tested, this feels significantly smarter. Now let's go to the second feature, which is the obstacle avoidance. Now, let's be honest here, okay? Every company says they have obstacle avoidance, so naturally I wanted to test it. The GOAT O1000 LiDAR PRO combines LiDAR, AI vision, and 3D sensing technology. What impressed me was that the mower didn't simply bump into things and then react. It actually recognized the obstacles before reaching them and adjusted its route. The behavior felt intelligent rather than reactive. Now, one thing I learned during the testing is that ECOVACS seems to prioritize reliability over aggression. The mower doesn't try to squeeze dangerously close to every object. Instead, it leaves enough space to avoid accidental contact. Now, for families with kids, pets, or backyard furniture, I actually think that's the right approach. Now let's talk about one of my favorite features, which is the TruEdge automatic trimming system. Now, one of the biggest complaints people have with robotic lawn mowers is that you still need to grab your trimmer afterwards. Now, the mower usually handles the lawn and then you handle the edges. The GOAT O1000 tries to reduce that extra work. During testing, I specifically paid attention to lawn edges because that's traditionally where robotic mowers struggle. I watched it work around sidewalks, landscaping, fences, and perimeter sections. Now, the difference here was noticeable. Did it eliminate every bit of manual trimming? Not necessarily. Let's be realistic, right? But it definitely reduced how much cleanup work I needed afterward. Now, I did notice something, that the trimming mode is louder than the regular mowing. Now, the first time I heard it activate, I actually checked the mower because I thought it was, something had changed. Turns out that's completely normal. The trimming mechanism is simply working harder, and honestly, I'd still rather listen to the robot trim for a few minutes than spend half an hour doing it myself. Now, the feature number 4 is the companion app. And this is one of those features that becomes more valuable over time. At first, I thought it was just another smart home app, but after living with the mower for a while, I found myself using it regularly. I could schedule mowing sessions, I can monitor the progress as well, adjust mowing zones, check mower status, and make changes without even stepping outside. Now, one challenge I ran into early on was figuring out the ideal mowing schedule. Initially, I scheduled it too many sessions because I wanted to see the mower in action. After about a week, I refined the schedule and found a much better balance. Now, the lawn basically takes care of itself. And I think that's really the goal, right? The best robotic mower is the one you barely have to think about. Now, the fifth feature here is slope climbing capability. The GOAT O1000 LiDAR Pro can handle slopes up to 45%. Now, my property isn't extremely steep here, but I do have several uneven sections that can challenge robotic equipment. During testing, I intentionally sent the mower through these areas multiple times. What impressed me wasn't just that it climbed that slope, it was how stable it looked while doing it. Now, the mower maintained traction very well. The movement felt controlled as well, and it never appeared to be struggling. For homeowners with uneven terrain, that's going to be a major advantage. Now, feature number 6 is safety. And honestly, this isn't the most exciting feature to talk about, but it might be one of the most important. The GOAT O1000 includes multiple safety systems designed to protect both the mower and the people around it. I actually tested several situations where the mower needed to react appropriately. Each response felt predictable and controlled. And that's exactly what you want. I've learned over the years that safety features are easy to ignore when everything is working properly. But the moment something unexpected happens, they become incredibly important. The GOAT O1000 gave me confidence that it could operate independently without constant supervision. Alright, here's the feature I told you to stay for. And honestly, I didn't expect this to become my favorite feature: the noise level. Or more accurately, the lack of noise. The GOAT O1000 operates at around 61 decibels, but numbers don't really tell the whole story here. What surprised me was how quickly I stopped noticing it. Now, I was outside working while the mower was running, and after a while, it simply faded into the background. that almost never happens with traditional lawn equipment. Normally, mowing becomes the main event of the afternoon. It's super loud, right? But with the GOAT O1000, it quietly does its job while you continue doing yours. You can have conversations, relax outside, you can just hang out there, work from home, and the mower simply keeps working. For me, this is when the robotic mowing finally started making complete sense. The quiet operation completely changes how and when you can run it. And that's the feature that genuinely blew my mind. Now, after spending real time with the ECOVACS GOAT O1000 LiDAR PRO, I think its biggest strength isn't any single feature. It's the combination of all of them working together. The LiDAR navigation makes it efficient, the obstacle avoidance makes it intelligent, the edge trimming reduces manual work, the app makes everything convenient, the slope handling expands where it can operate, the safety system builds confidence, and the quiet operation makes it easy to live with. The biggest challenge is encountered was simply learning the mapping and scheduling system during the first few days. But once I understood how the ECOVACS designed the workflow, the experience became very straightforward. Now, before I wrap up, I think it's important to answer one question. Should you buy the GOAT O1000 LiDAR Pro or the GOAT A3000 LiDAR Pro? After testing both, I don't think it's really about which one is better. It's about which one fits your property. If you have a larger property approaching 3/4 of an acre and need maximum coverage, the A3000 makes a lot of sense. It's designed for larger spaces and homeowners who need more mowing capacity. But if your lawn is more typical of what many suburban homeowners have, somewhere around 1/4 acre or less, then honestly, I think the O1000 is probably the smarter choice. You still get the intelligent LiDAR navigation, you still get obstacle avoidance, you still get the smart app controls, you still get the automated mowing and trimming, but you're getting a system that's purpose-built for smaller properties. Now, if you'd like to learn more, I'll leave links down below so you can go ahead and check that out. And let me know in the comments below if you have any questions at all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace!